we're going to go to the top combos in the NFL here because that got hot pre-show.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, I had to step in front. I do a little dance. Earl and Anthony can hop on the mic real quick. Have you seen a pre-show meeting argument get as heated as this one did this morning?
Was not even.
Earl's not listening, but no, it's not in a long time.
Yeah.
You're ready to come at each other's throats. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure this gets enough time. So we're going to go to the other team scared of the Browns. We'll put that for later in the show and/or tomorrow if we have to. But Steve Becker, our EP, sent us a question or sent us an email saying, hey, I think the Browns have the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver just one,
Yeah.
tight end combo in football.
Which is insane to say because
He's our boss, so tread carefully.
I love Steve, but like for him to say the Browns are number one is insanity because I got him fifth, and I think that's high because Deshaun Watson has to still prove he's great. It doesn't matter that I think personally he's going to do it this year, or G thinks personally he's going to do it this year, or Tyvus thinks personally he's going to do it this year. He's still got to prove it. When you've either not played or not played well for 2 years, you got to prove it again.
Yeah.
Before I can say you're number one on the list or number two. Now here's some combos. Browns chart. Now
These are not ranked. I just
No.
put some of the top ones on there.
Now, Tyvus and I are in agreement that the Eagles
Are
number one.
Yes.
We're in agreement there. All right. Now, we both also agree, I think, that the Bengals are ahead of the Browns, or no?
Yes.
Where we argued is I said the Chiefs were ahead of the Browns, and you said no.
That's not what I said. That's not what I argued with you about.
What was your okay?
You
Go ahead.
That's what he said.
No,
I thought you said the Browns were ahead of the Chiefs.
No, I didn't.
So then how did we get into an
Wait a
argument?
minute.
That's what you said, Tyvus.
Wait a minute.
That's what blew up.
The Browns are ahead of the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think you're nuts for that.
No.
Yes.
How can I be nuts for
Because
that?
Patrick Mahomes, your
They
argument.
don't have,
Okay.
But can I see that again?
Go ahead.
Listen, look at this.
So your
look
argument.
at the running back and the wide receiver. What are you talking about?
Your argument is that
you need to cut it out.
your argument is, and I would argue that MVS is not their best receiver, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Kadarius Toney.
Okay. Kadarius Toney.
Who may or may not be available. So go ahead.
Why wouldn't he be? I mean, he's been hurt.
Ain't my point exactly.
Okay.
Every year he's been in the league.
Fine. So there's plenty of other guys who are. Now,
Look.
you don't have to necessarily be good at all four spots.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. Not
Every position. That's what makes it the best.
It makes
What
it
are you
the best.
talking about?
What's the most important of those four positions?
Quarterback.
And
And you
who's
act
got
like Deshaun is a scrub now?
Is there a pretty big gap right now between Deshaun and Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes? It's a pretty big gap with Patty and anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. So Deshaun is still a really good quarterback. You act like is he not at least top 8 in the league?
At the moment, you're asking me, do I think he will be top 8 this year?
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Can I say with definitive answer he's top 8 right now? No, he hasn't played like that for 2 years.
Because of a 6-game stint?
It's not just 6 games, Tyvus. It's been 2 years. You
So
never know.
what?
Hey, you've played in this league. You've seen guys fall off a cliff
I
when
have.
you didn't expect
Not
it.
in quarterback position.
I know he's a little older, but we're seeing it with
I'm
Russell
about to say
Wilson.
this man, 28 years old.
Russell Wilson's not old. He's
Russell
older than
Wilson,
Watson.
don't talk about him. Don't talk about Russell Wilson.
I know you hate him.
I don't hate him. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's not a really good quarterback, but he's
He
a great guy.
was a really good quarterback.
Was he?
Yes.
Give me a year. What year?
All his years were good before his last year.
Go back and look up his
Yeah.
stats. And it's mainly in the playoffs.
Listen,
and you
I'm
tell
not saying
me.
I think Deshaun Watson at his best was better than Russell Wilson. Okay, we're in agreement there. However, you can't say Russell Wilson wasn't good, and last year he was awful. I agree with you.
Is he coming back this year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I agree with you. We're all in agreement that Deshaun Watson will probably bounce back this year, but he's got to prove it.
So the Chiefs,
I cannot believe
it. So the Chiefs have, if you look at the rosters and
Yeah.
you look at them, the Chiefs win at 2 positions. They win at Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, right?
Yes.
Now Kelsey is way above David Njoku, and,
Yeah.
and we would say that even if you say Patrick Mahomes is way above all the rest of the quarterbacks, right? So that's a really high bar.
Yeah.
However, most can argue that if you look at it, Amari Cooper is way ahead of anybody that got a receiver. Nick Chubb is light years ahead of anybody that got a running back. And so then it comes down to
be fair,
the
even though I
chasm.
don't disagree with you, Pacheco was pretty good last year for them.
Man, you need to cut it
He
out.
was.
Cut it out.
He was decent as a
He was
rookie.
pretty good for them.
He was good for a
He
rookie.
was-
I'm-
good for a rookie.
I agree. Obviously, Nick Chubb's way better.
Yeah.
But let's not make it like he's not a scrub.
I can't believe
No,
He
he's
ain't
not
a
a
scrub.
You are
Let
really,
me ask you this.
You drinking the Kool-Aid.
You're starting a team. Which force have you taken?
the Browns.
No chance.
The
No
Browns,
chance.
The Browns.
Because Mahomes, his
You act because you really act like Deshaun Watson is.
I'm not
The man
asking-
was projected like he was top,
Tyvis.
like
If he-
top 2 and
All right, so
3 in
Then
the
why would you?
league.
Then why wouldn't you just put him number one then?
If you-
Because
let me ask you. Here's, by the way, Director Steve.
you
Yeah.
know why I wouldn't put him number 1.
Director Steve. It's a little closer to
I mean,
the
executive producer Steve.
yeah.
Yeah.
Up top, Steve.
Up top, Steve.
Up top, Steve.
EP Steve.
Believe
Up top,
Up top.
Steve. This ain't this. You said the Browns might be number one. You're not that far off. You're not that far off.
He's far off.
But here's the thing: if
Yeah.
you get Watson to get up to about 6, then it's
Well, then it's a different. Then it's a different
Then
conversation.
then it's dead.
He's got to show it though first.
That's fine.
That's all I'm saying.
I in my heart, I believe he will
Pat,
be.
the other teams we're talking about, their quarterbacks were all great last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watson wasn't. And I know it's 6
It's
games.
6 games.
Tyvis, I'm just saying he's got to show it for a year
Okay.
before I can put him back up
Okay.
there.
All right. So to end this conversation, Deshaun Watson goes out there, throws for 5,000 yards, and is third in passing.
If
this
Deshaun
season.
Think plays as good as Patrick Mahomes or close to it this year, and we have this conversation next year, I might agree with you.
Might.
Now, I think you're underrating the huge difference between Travis Kelce and David Njoku, too.
I'm
That's
not
a
underrating
massive
it.
difference.
That is a huge
There is,
difference.
to me, there's a much bigger difference.
How many yards did Kelsey have last year?
Like 1,600.
I have it right here, actually.
Did you
Travis
really?
Kelce caught 110 passes last year
Yeah.
for 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns.
And Njoku
Well
finished. He missed how many games? Njoku.
Let me get the.
He was
Browns
trending
stats.
in a good
Let me tell you
direction
something.
last year.
Would you rather-
He
let
ain't
me ask you
Travis
this.
Kelsey by any means.
Would you rather have Travis Kelce? Who do you think is the Chiefs' best receiver? MVS or Tony? Who do you think their best receiver?
Probably Tony.
G, who you say? Tony's got the most upside.
I would say Tony.
All right. If you had for this year only, forget what team.
Okay.
Forget the rest of the roster. Would you rather have Travis Kelce and Kadarius Toney or Amari Cooper and David Njoku? Because to me, it's Kelce and Toney, and it's not that close for me. Because Cooper's good, very good. Njoku's a guy. Tony's a guy.
So-
Kelsey's the best.
See, this is the problem.
but-
this
Yeah.
is the problem with your argument.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tony ain't gonna be available for 17 games.
Well, then Maurice Valdez. So I don't know. Is
Then I'm
Njoku
telling-
going to be ready for 17 games?
Now watch
You got
this.
something there.
Here's the problem. Watch this. Watch this. Now I could project too. Give me Amari Cooper's stats.
Amari Cooper last season, 78 receptions, 1,160 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
That's what Jacoby Brissett. Think about that.
With 3/4 Jacoby Brissett.
Think about what.
Yeah, but
think about.
has
what-
Amari-
Talk to him.
Think
Talk
about.
to him.
Think about.
Talk
what-
to that man.
Think
G.
about what kind of bump
Has
he's gonna
Amari
look.
Cooper-
The G don't stand for guardians. It
Amari
stands
Cooper-
for
and
Garrett.
listen,
Talk to him, G.
Amari Cooper-
Talk to him, G.
Now, listen, Amari Cooper has played with some pretty good quarterbacks. Nobody as good as Deshaun Watson
That is
should
correct.
be. But he's played with Dak Prescott, who before he got hurt was a pretty good
Okay.
quarterback. He played with Derek Carr, decent quarterback. It was not like he was playing with scrubs, And he's never, I don't think, had a better season than Travis Kelce.
Well, here's the thing. If you think
That's a
about
that's a fact.
Big Nugget.
Travis Kelce is 1,400, right? He got about 1,100, almost 1,200. Is it easy to say if you give Deshaun Watson 11 more games, right, and he plays 11 more games instead of the 6 that he played? All he needs is about 30 extra yards. It ain't even 30.
And 5 more touchdowns.
But I'm saying,
But
he would kick very easily
not
make up that
fair.
production.
That's not really
That's like 20 more yards a game.
That's not fair to say when you only got Travis Kelsey.
Well, he played with Tyreek Hill before last year, and he still put up
That's
passing
fine. We
numbers.
talking about last year. He only had
Okay,
Travis
well, last
Kelce.
year he was way better than Amari Cooper.
Everybody,
which he's been every year of his career.
everybody on the Browns contributes. You got a great, 1,500 yards from
Yeah.
a running back, 1,100 from a receiver,
Yeah.
and the other one got hurt, but I think he had like 800 yards.
That's
What did Juju Smith-Schuster do for them last year?
933 yards.
Okay. That's not that far below Amari Cooper.
That's still 200 yards is a lot.
What did Amari Cooper finish with? 11 what?
1162.
Juju's closer to Amari Cooper than Amari was to Travis Kelce.
Yes.
So when it comes,
Do you
but-
agree
But we didn't have. But we also had a backup quarterback.
right.
And just to make, that was in terms of yards last year, not in terms of players. That was in terms of yards. Earl looked at me like I said, no. Amari Cooper is closer to Kelce in terms of players than Juju is to Amari Cooper. But in terms of passing, receiving yards last year.
Oh, I knew you meant yards.
Okay. Earl looked at me. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
By the way, if Patrick, here's the and this was the conversation we was gonna have if talk about if people were scared of the Browns. If Deshaun Watson gets back to what Deshaun Watson is, all bets are off.
That's what I'm trying to tell this man.
That's
what
Who
I'm trying to.
disagrees? Nobody disagrees.
You did.
They could-
I might take him. That's what you said. I might.
They could be considered
Yeah.
on paper.
I think you're as much as I like Watson, as much as I like it, think he could be great. Nobody else is Patrick Mahomes.
That's fine.
Nobody else is Patrick
You're
Mahomes.
right. It's literally Patrick Mahomes. Skip some lines.
When people talk,
Joe Burrow.
Somebody said to me today, we were talking from a fantasy perspective, but still, it holds for the NFL too. He's like, how many guys are on your tier 1 of quarterbacks? He said to me, do you have
One.
6? He said, do you have 6 or 7 in tier 1?
What?
I said, I have one guy in
That's
tier
one,
1.
yeah.
That's Patrick
There's
Mahomes.
one- it's
Now
Pat-
the
and
question
then
is
it's
how many guys
everybody
are on
else.
tier 2?
Yeah, that's
Now,
legit.
I expect Deshaun Watson to get back to tier 2 this year with Burrow and Herbert and Allen and maybe Trevor Lawrence,
That's fine.
right? But
So the
to
only
me, Mahomes is, that's a different animal there.
But you said something early,
Yeah.
Tyvis, that I thought was fascinating. If you could say, give me Christian McCaffrey,
See what I'm saying?
Debo Samuel, and Kittle,
That's where the argument
Well,
really
now,
came
if we
in.
take out quarterback,
God.
that's the best. That's
like,
probably the
them three is crazy.
And
It's
by
not
the way,
close. If you take out quarterback, that is hands down by far.
And that's
I don't
what
know-
I-
I
that's
don't know
what
that
I
it's
was
hand-
arguing.
I don't know that I agree. It's hands down.
That's
Yes, it
that's
is. Who you
cold.
got?
Debo is not as good as the top receivers.
I mean,
He
Debo
does.
Samuel,
If
does a
if
lot.
Debo Samuel does the running back thing,
Speaking of injury prone, he's hurt every year too.
Debo,
Is he?
Go back and
He's
watch
missed a lot of time.
Go back and watch Debo Samuel and
But
watch
I
all
agree
the stuff
ultimately.
that he does.
However, I actually have them pretty high up, not far beyond the Browns, because
you can't really count Brock Purdy because
we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Brock Purdy was pretty darn good last year.
He was.
He was.
To me, there's no doubt there's no way I'm starting Trey Lance over him if he's healthy. Right? Are you considering starting Trey Lance
He hasn't shown me nothing.
on anything?
So
it's not even a question.
No.
You would think.
Yeah.
But you still need to justify their trade.
Not.
That trade was crazy.
You have to play. If Brock, listen,
gotta give
we
Trey
don't
Lance
know.
the
Brock
chance.
Purdy might have been an anomaly, a freak thing because they have a great team. But like when Jimmy Garoppolo won games with San Francisco, he didn't put up big numbers.
No.
Like he was kind of along for the ride. It felt like, right? Brock Purdy put up big numbers last year in a lot of those games.
See, McNuggets, this is what I was talking about
Yeah.
before. This is called recency bias, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
people love his last eight couple games that he got.
Right.
They
Well, but
love
I'm not-
him.
hey,
They love him.
I'm not going to tell you that I think Brock Purdy's better than Deshaun Watson.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
if you ask somebody whose stock is better,
Yeah.
they would take the small sample size for Brock
They better not.
over all of the stuff Deshaun Watson has shown you and put it on 6
Right.
games.
Now, that's crazy, and I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people. I believe that Deshaun Watson is going to bounce back and be a top 6, 7 quarterback this year. But I'm also curious to see more of Brock Purdy.
Oh no,
Because if he has a good year this year, then we got to look at him as legit. If he has a good year,
He
this year.
reminds me of you remember when Tony Romo came in and it was like, who is this
Yeah, right,
Romo
right.
guy?
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, and he just kept doing it. And
Yeah.
he kept doing it. You're like, okay, well, he's an legit
Right.
guy. He could be a legit quarterback for him. Trey Lance, yeah, we can't. I ain't seen
I
nothing.
can't.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We
He's
really
barely
don't know.
Barely,
But like Purdy, if Purdy hadn't gotten hurt, they might have gone to the Super Bowl. Who knows?
That's what
But
they
he still got
swear
him to the
up and
NFC
down.
Championship game.
He's
I'm
never
just-
lost a game that he's played.
I didn't realize
in
he
the
didn't lose
NFL.
any.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
the only
he's-
game he lost was the championship game,
Right.
but that doesn't really count.
I
do.
I have to start him if he's healthy.
You better.
There's no way I'm starting Trey
You have no
Lance.
choice.
I think everybody in San Francisco, as far as the roster goes, would say
Yeah, you know guys still playing there? Anybody?
Yeah.
So have you
I
asked
haven't
them
talked
that?
to him about the incident.
Yeah.
I have not. But I will ask. I ask Kittle
You asked Kittle?
between me and you.
Wait, is Kittle your dude?
I mean, we cool.
Man, if that guy could ever stay healthy,
Kittle, yeah.
Kittle's awesome.
He's
Yeah, Kittle.
he's on. In my opinion, he's right there with Kelsey. He's just the difference.
I used
is
to always say that he, as far when it came to like blocking, like a complete tight end,
he's probably even better.
he's better.
But he can't stay healthy, and
But,
Kelsey does.
yeah.
That's the bottom line. He gets hurt
and
almost
Kelsey
every year.
is Kelsey in the receiving game.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
unbelievable.
Kelsey's-
And I think people got to really start to give credit to this. The fact that you talk about Patrick Mahomes being ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, when it comes to these plays, is different.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's different. It's not even like he's just drawing. He's so far in the matrix now.
Yeah.
He's so far in the matrix that he just telling people to do ring around the roses.
Remember
It's
that?
crazy.
Remember that? Okay. Did you guys watch that yet? On the
Yep.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Watch what?
The way he
You
came
watching
up.
this quarterback documentary?
Oh no, my
Come
wife.
on.
I watched
now.
that. You gotta get on that. It's crazy.
Oh,
The way that
Sydney,
came up,
Yeah.
bro. Oh.
By the way, I'm in a big run of documentaries because I finished Quarterback, which was great. They're doing a second season, which I'm excited
We're gonna
about.
talk about it tomorrow.
I just watched for the first time ever. I don't know. I've never seen this before. Catholics versus convicts. Have you seen that?
No.
No.
You know what that is, right?
That's the U versus Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
This story is amazing how that shirt came about. I feel like you guys got to go back and watch that.
What is it? A 30 for 30?
Yeah.
Now, the U got so many 30 for 30. Don't it feel like they got
do.
like 3?
They do.
You know what? And while you was bringing up Andy Reid, it made me think. Do you think Eric Bieniemy is gonna be a great play caller for the Commanders?
Oh, he ain't got no. He got a quarterback.
Who's their quarterback? Sam Howell?
And Jacoby Brissett?
And, he's not.
I mean, that's a challenge. Now, they got pretty interesting skill position
They
players.
got a great. Their skill position is.
They
great.
got your boy McLaurin.
They got Jahan
Did you
Dodson.
play with McLaurin? No, you didn't.
Yeah, I played with
Oh, you
McCoy.
did?
I'm not.
Yeah.
If I'm Eric Bieniemy, I thought it was a bad job. I wouldn't have took that.
Listen,
I'm not
offensively,
taking-
they got the firepower.
bro.
It's about the quarterback.
I
Don't
am
they have
never.
Curtis Samuel also?
Yeah, they do.
He had a
They
decent
played
year
with him
last year,
too.
yeah.
I am never going to take a lateral move to a more terrible roster.
It was the only way
He felt like he had to
It
do
was the only way he gonna get a head coach.
That is so corny. I
It
don't.
is
How
corny.
else is he gonna get one?
It's corny, but he had to do it.
Jesus. I mean,
Gee,
it's crazy.
everybody gonna say you not calling the plays. We need to see
You know what,
do it.
though?
That's a dummy mission.
If he makes their offense solid,
If
not
they
even
in the
great,
top 15 of
that's
the
a great
league,
accomplishment with
You
no
know-
quarterback.
You know what's gonna happen? This is crazy. You know what's gonna happen? You go to Washington. They already in turmoil.
do we play them this year?
I don't think we do.
No, I don't think so.
We
I
go.
can't
They
remember.
go to Washington. They already in turmoil. They got to sell their team. Now you're there as an offensive coordinator. You got a rookie quarterback that you're thinking about playing in Jacoby
He ain't a
Brissett.
rookie. He's his
Sam
second
Howell,
year.
he been chilling, not doing nothing. Ain't no starts. Now you got to get him ready. If he comes in there and they're bad or they don't have good quarterback play, he's then never eligible for a head coaching job. Ever. He'll never get
Wait
one.
a minute. What was Jacoby Brissett's record as a Brown before he left? Before Deshaun took over?
Not good enough.
What was we under 500?
Yes.
We were.
Yes.
Well, Watson went 3-3, right?
And,
And they finished the season 7-10. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
4-6.
if you got them backups, if you get fired, and it's Washington, that's one of the most rabid fan bases. They'll get you up out of here in a minute. He gonna go down there and play around.
Riverboat Run.
I am not doing.
Listen.
You messed it.
But if he go there and it's a success, they might fire Riverboat Ron and just make him the coach.
man, he's always up underneath somebody, bro.
They ain't gonna, but this the difference. If they have success on offense, they're not gonna say it's because of Ron.
Right, they're not going to. Ron Rivera has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
offense.
That's so crazy.
He'll get the credit, but
I don't
I think he's in a tough spot.
He
I don't know.
definitely in a tough
He in
spot.
a tough spot, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they have like
Keep
one of
hope
the,
alive, baby.
that's one of the worst quarterback situations in the league.
They say Sam Howell is.
Nah,
that.
I'm not going from Patrick Mahomes with my feet kicked up with caviar
Yeah.
to hanging out in Washington trying to prove what. That's like me. That's like me going from this.
You can't be scared of
This
greatness,
is like
man.
I'm like, yeah, they need to give G. Bush his own national show. They're like, well, you ain't getting it yet. Well, in that case, what I'm gonna do is go from Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show to this internet radio joint down the street to prove I'm good enough without all the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? No, I'm gonna post right here. No.
By the way, one second, Mike, did you finish the documentary? Did you
Nope,
watch?
I didn't finish it
Did
yet.
you finish it?
I haven't
I'm
finished it.
halfway through 7. I'll finish it tonight.
You guys got to finish it tonight?
Yeah, we
We'll
are.
talk
we're gonna review it tomorrow.
What is it,
End
an
of the show
hour
tomorrow.
episode?
Yeah,
It's 8 45-minute episodes.
I can
roughly.
watch that.
Steve Becker, EP Steve, wants to know if you add receiver 2, so 2 receivers.
Oh,
to
my.
Well,
this.
then the Browns go further down.
Yeah, then they're out of contention. Then
Yeah.
they get it. Then we got swept
If
all the
you
way up out of
add receiver 2,
here. The Eagles are.
are they still number
The
one?
Eagles is flying high number
The
one.
Eagles and Bengals would be number 2. I think.
And then you have to start to put the Dolphins in the mix.
By the way, I had the Chargers ahead of the Browns too,
I don't blame you.
right?
I don't blame
Because
you.
right now I got to
As
put
constitute-
Herbert ahead of Watson.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like Chubb more than Eckler, but it's not a big, that's not a big gap because Eckler's really good.
Right.
Keenan
Eckler,
Allen
yeah.
and Cooper is close, but I like Keenan Allen more.
And Mike Williams is better than their second receiver.
If you had a
you're
second
going 2.
receiver,
That ain't
and then
easy.
they're they don't have a great tight end,
Gerald
Gerald Everett, but
Everest.
the Browns don't have a great tight end either.
So-
I take Njoku, but it's close. But I think the Chargers are a little better. They're kind of under the radar because they haven't done anything in the playoffs. Now neither have the Browns.
If
but
you have
When
receiver
you add
two, the
receiver
Browns
two-
go down.
They out of the mix. If you add
God.
receiver 2,
yeah, the Browns drop down.
all of a
The
sudden-
Jaguars are kind of sneaky in this, by the way.
I
the
thought about
Jaguars,
them. I
they're
was gonna
kinda
put,
sneaky
I was
in
gonna put
this.
them in there.
But none of their guys, they're good at all 4 spots,
They're not elite at any.
but they're not in that top group in any of them.
Trevor Lawrence could.
Trevor
be.
Lawrence is like the
close.
bottom of tier 2, I
Yeah.
think. Right? And Travis Etienne's good, but he's not elite.
yeah.
Not yet.
And I guess their first receiver is Ridley or maybe Christian Kirk when I see him. But neither
Ridley.
one of them. Like Ridley could be elite, but he's not. He hasn't played in 2 years.
Ravens is kind of sneaky.
Ravens in there too. I
J.K.
had them in my-
Dobbins.
I don't agree with
it
that.
depends if you believe Odell can be Odell again.
I don't think so. I don't buy that.
You think?
Well,
you
by
think
the way,
Odell-
by the way, what do you think? What do you think Odell gets this year? What do you think?
I
you think he gets
I
1,000
think-
yards?
yes.
Best case scenario gets 1,000.
I think he gets 1,000.
But what's the
It's,
odds?
that-
it's,
Gio,
it's
Gio,
the
let me ask you
air
this.
rating the thing.
What's the first of all, they're still going to run a lot. This idea that Lamar's going to run significantly less, I don't buy it. That's his instinct. You can't change a person's instinct. His instinct is to run, and he's going to run. Now, will they maybe call for less direct runs by him, as the play call? Maybe, so he'll have a few less runs. But when he gets in trouble, he looks to run. You can't. Can you coach that out of somebody?
No.
Right?
Not
So-
if he's been. You won an MVP off of it. Why would
Exactly.
you? He has
so
success
he's
with
still
it.
going to run a lot. And I would expect. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to have a big year.
I agree.
Right? He's finally healthy, full year out, like year plus.
Pick
off
him
the
up
injury.
in fantasy this year.
I think he's going to have a monster year this year, and I still think Andrews is their number 1 guy in the passing game.
Let me ask you guys this about Odell.
And Odell always gets hurt, so I don't think he's going to play 17 games.
What's more likely to happen for Odell Beckham Jr. this year? Playing in 15 of the 17 games or recording over 1,200 receiving yards? What's more likely?
Well, if he plays 15 games, he'd have a shot at
He could have
1,200.
shot at 12.
I don't think either is likely personally. But
What you think he get hurt? Or you think they just sit him down?
no, I think he gets hurt because he's been hurt every year since his 3rd year in the league.
I mean, I've torn 2 ACLs, right?
Yeah.
And when you tear the first one, it's like, oh, I'm nice. I'm gonna get back. You rehab it again. When you tear that second one, it's a whole nother ball game because even though you know what the pain feel like, it's just your mindset is like, I gotta go through this again. Like the rehab is just too crazy. So
1,200.
it's hard for me to say that he gonna come back at 100%. He's always what's saving him is he was an elite athlete. If he was Jarvis Landry, he'd be out of the league like
Right.
Jarvis.
Yeah,
Landry.
yeah, yeah.
Like Jarvis
Jarvis is out the league.
Yeah,
Jarvis
like-
went off that cliff. Right. It happens. It's
like,
crazy how
he-
that happens in the NFL.
He wasn't never fat. I mean, so Odell. Now we're gonna see. Well, here's what we'll see. His knock was he was never a precise route runner, right? He had elite catching radius and all this other stuff. Now we're gonna see how good he can do, like the mundane things. All right, like can I get off the line of scrimmage and press coverage and get into the rhythm and the pattern? And then he playing with another guy who Lamar Jackson. It's hard to play with a Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson, right?
Sure, right.
Because you don't never really know. Everything turns into a scramble play at some point. So I would say he's going to play 15 to 17 games. I don't know if the 1,200 is realistic because, like Bull said, Andrews is their top target. And if they start off slow or if they're losing, their propensity is always going to be, let's just run the ball and pare this thing down.
That's right. So I say if I had to bet on one of those two things, I'd bet on him playing 15 games.
That's what I would take. I'd take
because I think 1,200 yards. That's a lot.
It's a new
tough.
offense, and I just don't think it's just going to be crisp.
Yeah. Plus, they drafted what's his name in the first round.
Yeah.
You know,
I
Bateman's
forgot
healthy
Bateman's
now.
still there, and Mark Andrews is still there.
right.
So.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he's on a pitch count. I wouldn't be surprised
Right.
if they come out and say,
That's
well,
true.
Well, he
we
did-
want Odell, we wanted him to get 50 plays.
Odell
That's
was.
it.
I think he's on record saying that the regular season is meaningless.
He just,
Right.
See, he
Because
didn't.
when he was
Well-
trying to come back last year, he was like,
Yeah.
"I'd rather just wait to the playoffs."
Well, the Ravens are not guaranteed to make the playoffs. This is not the NBA, where certain teams are going to make the playoffs no matter what they do.
Hey, you start off. I don't care
Oh,
who
my
you is.
goodness, that's
if
a
you
fact.
If you start off 1-3, 1-4,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you're the Chiefs. Like you can't let them games pile on top of you, and then we look up on the ticker and you get beat by the Colts by 10.
That's hard to believe they lost to the Colts last
That's
year.
crazy, right?
That is really nuts.
I have an update for you guys.
Yeah.
Since this morning, Mary Kay just tweeted out that Perion Winfrey is now a suspect in an aggravated robbery incident.
In addition to this thing.
So I'm going to read you the full tweet.
Yeah.
Cleveland police say Perion Winfrey, who was released this morning by the Browns, is a suspect in an aggravated robbery incident. A woman posted Instagram video of the incident, says he threatened her with a gun and assaulted her.
So it's the
So
same
tied
thing.
to that incident, but he's
Okay.
now,
Oh.
according to police, a suspect in
So
an
maybe
aggravated robbery incident.
Okay, because he probably took her phone.
Yeah, because he took a phone,
right.
and nowadays, like if you take somebody's phone, that's legit stealing property because people got their
phones are expensive.
IDs in there.
Yeah.
They got all their credit cards saved
Yeah.
in there. That's the equivalent of you taking somebody's wallet or stealing
Yeah.
somebody's wallet at this point. So
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that it was him in this incident.
Also
but we
right.
don't know for sure, but
Didn't
he's
die,
done with the Browns.
yeah.
One more